Okay, we're going to create cubes in using two-point perspective with the Photoshop application. The left side of my screen, where my mouse dances here, you'll notice I have a horizon line that goes across, and there are two vanishing points. On the right side of my screen, here where my mouse dances, there's a slightly surreal landscape with some cubes in two-point perspective, kind of giving you an idea what a project might look like. And underneath here, you're going to see your file setup, and there you should put your name on the file, write 2-point cubes. The dimensions would be 7 inches by 5 inches by 300 if you want to follow the size project I'm doing. So that's what I have here set up. Let's look at this picture briefly. So let's see. These would be our horizon line going across the center. The vanishing points are at the end. And these lines that go from the front edge to the vanishing point, those would be called orthogonal lines. Now let's simplify this a bit so we might be able to see what it is we're going to be looking at. So maybe this will help us see it a little bit clearer. Okay, on this side, I'm assuming you've set up your page by now. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using a brush about a size number 9. Make sure your brush is hard. It'll make it easier when we're going to use color later. And you're going to take, and we're going to make the first line going right across the horizon line. So I'm going to make it from about there. Now, when we make 1-point perspective, we draw the front side. We make 2-point perspective, we just simply draw the front edge. Then we immediately connect to the vanishing point. Remember to do that. You're going to hold the shift key. When you get to the other side, hit click, and it will follow you over. Holding down the shift key, clicking over here, holding down the shift key, clicking over here, and doing the same thing here. Letting go of the shift key, starting afresh at the top, hitting the shift key and rolling straight downward. That works great. Go over here, click, hit the shift key, roll straight downward. So you notice I made one side thin, I made one side wide. So we have some different dimensions. It's not exactly a cube. I'm going to use the block for my eraser, and I'm going to scroll downward. Then I'm going to go from the vanishing point to the vanishing point to the ends of the line. Using the shift key, it's just a really fast way to erase. Now you'll notice I have a cube here. It's going through the vanishing point. We're going to also add additional cubes to the project. Let's again recognize the names, the titles here, and let me show you how, in fact, those others would connect. So I'm going to take the color red, and I'm going to be drawing in red just to help us focus. I'm going to grab my brush, or you can type in the letter B, and I'm working on a separate layer just so you know. And I'm going to tap here, and I'm going to make my line, scroll downward. I'm going to go to the vanishing point. I'm going to come back up. I'm going to go down to this side, come across. I'm going to establish the rear edge, come downward. Now when I come down, I need to take that side to the opposing vanishing point, like that. Then I start this one, I come down, and I have to attach it to the opposing vanishing point over here, and that would be a perfect cube. Once you clean that up, of course, it looks like that. Let's go through that process again for the one just below. I will start off by creating the front edge. Take one side to the vanishing point, and back to the front edge, to the opposing vanishing point, back to the front edge. Once I establish how deep or wide I want it to be, I make the line, connect to the opposing vanishing point, come back here, establish that edge, go to the vanishing point again, and you've seen how we've created those. So let me turn this off. That's what it would look like. Once you add a little bit of color, it'll change completely, like when we do stuff like that. To add a little bit of color, it's quite simple. You're going to be grabbing a paint bucket, select a color you'd like. We'll use a little blue right now, And I'll pour using the paint bucket. I'll make sure I'm on the appropriate layer and the appropriate file. Let's see, that's where I want to be on layer 1. I'm going to pour some paint in. Then I'm going to pick a color of a different value. It can be lighter or darker depending what your preference is or where the light source is. And that's how you color one of these objects. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Oh, and if you want to color the background, click on the background layer. You have a line already dividing your space. You can pick any color you'd like for that. Pour it in. You want the color of green skies, you can pour that in. So that's how simple that is. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Practice, you'll get really good.